The beginning of 2025 signaled a new start for Belize with the announcement of our head of state, the Queen of England, would no longer be on the national currency. It was late January when the new design was revealed, showing George Price and Philip Golson on the paper money, along with new colors, a new feel, and advanced security features. The new currency would come into circulation in August. Then, in February, the country mourned young Gabriel Oriano, the under-supervised special needs student who slipped out of the Salamares gates and ran through the streets. The 6-year-old student took a 2-mile run, which was caught on several surveillance cameras, through the city from his school to the hangar area where he drowned. There are still no answers as to why he was running or how he ended up there, and no criminal charges have been laid. In March, the charge of an early election filled the air, but before the polls even opened, for the first time ever, 2 constituencies went uncontested, Fort George and Pickstock.
Well, I mean, you always want to go into battle, but a win is a win is a win, right?
And at the end of election day, the PUP walked away with 26 seats, the same as the 2020 elections but with greater, even historic margins as the UDP stayed home and the PUP won a powerful mandate.
My fellow Belizeans, the people have spoken. They have roared and have thundered, and I am deeply humbled by their historic decision.
A month later, Belize was faced with its most unprecedented and frightful event, the Holy Thursday hijacking of a Tropicair flight. American national Akaniela Taylor boarded the San Pedro-bound plane armed with a knife, stabbed 2 passengers and the pilot, Howell Grange. Grange managed to hold his own under the threat of death to safely land the plane at the PGIA.
I mean, I'm a tough fight, and I'm a small man. And just like a few seconds before the plane actually stopped there when I heard the shot. And then I heard the second shot.
Those shots came from one of the stabbing victims, which proved fatal to Taylor. Months later, the passengers are still trying to recover from the trauma of the ordeal, including Grange, who is not sure when or if he'll ever get in the pilot's seat again. That one incident changed domestic travel in Belize forever. And it also unearthed 10-year contracts valued at millions of dollars awarded to 2 favored companies, Fort Diamond and iSecurity, to provide security services to the municipal airports. However, while the companies were being paid since January, up until the hijacking in April, they still had not provided any services. In mid-June, the government officially broke the contracts and a new tendering process began. At the same time these contracts were being uncovered, a salary adjustment for CEOs triggered the joint unions into industrial action, demanding the same. In June, the BNTU blocked the streets across the country with their vehicles. In Dagriga in particular, a confrontation erupted between the Southern Branch and the police. Later that same month, the PSU also upped their game by blocking the PGIA.
Yes, something is wrong with this government, man. Something is wrong with this government. How comes as a citizen I can't come pick up my people now when they come in?
Because they have been informed that you plan to come here to create a disruption.
Disruption?
Yes,
I don't even know what the disruption is.
While they insisted it wasn't a protest and they were just citizens visiting the airport, they were able to cause a 17-minute disruption. In July, Belize was once again shocked with the murders of a disabled man and his elderly mother. Luke Jones, who was paralyzed, and his 69-year-old mother, Evandine Jones, were shot dead in their yard. Their bodies weren't found until the next day, and police believe their murders were related to a video made by Jones's brother, who lives in the U.S. But with the shock of that murder still fresh, a renewed alarm settled over the country after self-proclaimed citizen journalist Joseph Budna was kidnapped by police officers and taken over the border to Guatemala. He was handed over to the authorities without any due process in Belize and is currently serving the remainder of his sentence in a prison in Guatemalan City.
Couldn't move while I was handcuffed, and every move I did, it was gunbutt in my stomach, in my ribs, my right ribs, and gunbutt in my head. I was beaten badly, I was bleeding inside the vehicle, and they traveled for almost about 3 hours or 3 hours and change.
While the government had initially agreed to an independent investigation, the PM quickly backtracked and left it in the hands of the DPP. She later complained that the files she received had, quote, less than nothing. On September 10th, in another unprecedented incident, Guatemalan armed forces planted their flag on the Sarsoon Island, which is in Belizean territory. The BDF confronted them, and the flag was ultimately taken down. Another murder which left the country shocked occurred in October, when a man set his ex and her 2 children on fire. 35-year-old Angelita Magana and 6-year-old Tishan Godoy passed away immediately, while 17-year-old Shadia Magana died later in the hospital. The arsonist, Francis Godoy, who had been stalking Magana and had been in prison for rape, also caught on fire and passed away. Then, in November, 8 months after the general elections, the government announced a cabinet shuffle that saw the resignation of Hossein. Home Affairs also saw a change in ministers from Karim Musa to Oscar Mira. Francis Fonseca also regained education. Prior to the shuffle, the PM said that there was room for improvement.
If you look at it, next month, November, it's going to be 5 years that we've been really in government. I believe that there's always room for improvement.
And while he made those improvements in his cabinet, the UDP also had a shuffle of their own after they elected their new executive. December started with their new leader, Tracy Panton, taking the reins of the party. She made history as the first female to lead a mass party, and Sheena Pitts also became the first female chairperson of the UDP.
Rock bottom is not the tomb. It is, my friends, the turning point. And today, we are at the turning point.
Courtney Menzies, 7 News.